Brandon Lewis out here, whew, braving the elements, this hot, sizzling July heat to bring you 7 big news stories you probably won't hear covered by the mainstream media. In the shadows, Belmont University caught hiding illegal aliens and circumventing DEI mandates, all with your tax dollars. Williamson County residents renew their effort to rid the county seal of the Confederate flag. Progress painfully slow as recent TCAP scores show minuscule improvement in ELA scores, although if you read the left-leaning papers, you would think that folks had turned from dunces into scholars if you just peruse the headlines. Not so. Knox County Sheriff's Office detains almost 50 illegal aliens over 3 days for ICE. I'm sure Freddie O'Connell in Nashville is weeping now that his countrymen are going perhaps back to their country of origin. Illegal alien charged with shooting at police in Tennessee, sentenced to 18 years in prison. The University of Tennessee, one of 7 colleges asked to end its partnership with Chinese scholarship program. That's concerning. And finally, Tennessee supports Trump's plan to ban Chinese ownership of farmland under the National Farm Security Action Plan. It's Brandon Lewis here. Guys, don't forget, you can join me live and in person at what may be our only event, official Tennessee conservative event this year, and that is going to be August 11th. It's a Monday evening, so I know you don't have any plans on Monday evening. Come on, what are you doing? Nobody does anything on Monday evening. That's why you can come down to the Tellico Village Yacht Club. There's going to be cocktails at 5. We're going to have dinner at 6. A nice program. You'll be surrounded by the most conservative folks I know in the state of Tennessee, because anybody that will get off their keister and get off their wallet to come to this amazing event really cares. And it's in a great community hosted by a great club, and that is the Conservative Club of Tellico Village. You can go to ttc-event.com. That's TTC, which stands for the Tennessee Conservative dash event, EVNT.com, or you can look for the link in or around this newscast video or at the podcast. It'll be somewhere around here. Jason will put it in the comment section. I hope you can come. Now listen, if you're not on our e-newsletter, so many people aren't. They say, well, I'll see you occasionally on Facebook. Well, no, you see me 1/10 of the time, 1/20th of the time, whatever it is on the medium. You really need to text the word news, NEWS, to 423-205-5600. That's 423-205-5600. A little bit of a lawsuit update. I don't know what to update you on much other than we've got a hearing on Thursday. I think it's Thursday of next week via Zoom. I'll see what happens. Maybe the thing just goes away. I'm hopeful that it will, but I'll keep you in tune, as my attorney has told me not to run my mouth too much, so I'm not going to. But when all this gets done, I'll check back in with you. First story, in the shadows, Belmont University caught hiding illegal aliens and circumventing DEI mandates. Nashville's Belmont University is under fire as an undercover video surfaced of a school official admitting their department is harboring illegal aliens from discovery and deliberately manipulating language and programs to circumvent federal anti-DEI mandates stemming from several of Trump's executive orders. Now, this viral footage shows Assistant Director of, quote, Student Success and Flourishing, which is basically a DEI hire. You know, your tax dollars wasted. Belmont University takes Tennessee Hope. They take federal Pell Grant, and I'm sure that they're subsidized with federal loans and lots of other ways. We should not be using our taxpayer dollars like this. So Student Success and Flourishing, Joseph Lukey, discussing the school's subversion tactics. In the first clip, he openly admits his department is harboring illegal alien students and deliberately hiding their information from faculty and law enforcement to better, quote, operate in the shadows. The second clip features the same gentleman talking about Belmont's rebranding of their DEI program, which means lying. Lukey is basically just saying, hey, I'm a trained manipulative liar when it comes to this stuff. And so let me show you how, instead of just telling the truth, we manipulate and lie so we can get your taxpayer dollars, even though it's illegal. Which, you know, was Belmont's rebranding of the DEI department, which is now the Office of Hope, Unity, and Belonging. They're going to have to get better at naming these if they want to escape the radar. What they maybe should call it the conservative self-reliance office, maybe nobody would look at it. But if you're going to use all this gobbledygook, meaningless nonsense, which is basically just repackaged racism, you're going to have to do something a little better. He credits Hub VP Taylor with being politically savvy. He was a mastermind, right? According to this gentleman, who has helped to coach the team on how to react to shifting political landscapes and avoid having the microscope on them. Belmont's not the only institution of higher learning attempting the same game. A report from Town Hall, the outlet that originally obtained the footage, noted a report from Defending Education, which has tracked 245 universities which still have tuition-wide DEI offices, with an additional 28 institutions and schools, colleges appearing to have renamed or rebranded them. Only 18 universities were reported to have removed web pages or shut down DEI initiatives. That's what we got going on here in the volunteer state. And I promise you right now, if you gave me 2 weeks and some lunch money, I bet I could go up to UT. I bet I could go down to Chattanooga. I bet I could spend just some time on campus, dressed up like a pro-Hamas protester or something with a mask on. I could probably wander around, go through the student aid office, go through some programs. I bet you'd find this stuff in almost all of these schools, because these same jokers have not gone away. The same mindset is there that makes these folks think from the top down that racism is a good policy, that we should repackage it and retool it. It's just insidious, right? Democrats can't get away from it. Anyway, that's how it goes. Next story, Williamson County residents renew effort to rid county seal of Confederate flag. There's a lot going on in Williamson County, between the whole place being like divided. I think the Confederate flag, frankly, I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there for those of you in Williamson County. I think the Confederate flag is the perfect symbol to be on the seal, because y'all have a political civil war going on in Williamson County. And so maybe instead of taking the Confederate flag off, you should just put the Union battle flag, and then you could put like the Lee Reeves and the Jack Johnsons and everybody over here, and then you could put like all the conservative Gino Bolsos and the rest of them. I'm not saying that those people are at odds. Don't put words in my mouth. You could put the conservatives on one side, you could put the rhinos on the other, and you could just like draw a little broken thing. I'm just throwing suggestions out there, okay? Just so you don't have to go through this mess. So after a 5-year legal battle that ended when the General Assembly amended the Tennessee Heritage Protection Act to include county seals, the group is now asking for a waiver from the Tennessee Monuments and Memorial Commission to change the seal. So they want it all to go away, because it's aligned with white supremacy and discrimination and this, that, and the other. Next story. Progress painfully slow, but you wouldn't know it by reading the liberal headlines, boy. I wish I'd had the time to bring them in. It's hilarious. So TCAP scores show very little improvement, and especially in ELA. While traditional media, educational organizations, and Tennessee government officials, because it is the largest government job factory in the volunteer state, celebrate the gains made in recent TCAP scores, it's not that good, right? In grades 3 through 8, some 166,992, you call it 167,000, met or exceeded expectations, accounting for 38.9% of the students in those grades. So we're still at only 38.9%, okay? This is overall, while 262,000, about more than 60%, failed to meet the benchmarks for their individual grade level. Adding in high school ELA data bumps the percentage of students meeting and exceeding expectations to 40.9%, just over 2 percentage points higher. So on average, compared to ELA scores at the state level for grades 3 to 8 are only 1.3% better. 1.3% better. So there are two observations I would make about this story. The first is, it is so interesting if you have been around for any length of time, especially if you're older. I can remember having a lady, she was older, she taught me 4th grade, her name was Miss Raines. And boy, she had everybody in the room doing something different. The slow kids were doing slow stuff, the middle kids were doing middle kids, and the mouthy, smart kids that couldn't, keep their head down and were always cracking jokes and getting paddled out in the hallway. That was me. She worked us to death. But she worked us out of old 1950s readers. And you know what she said? Even back then, 30 some odd years ago, she said, they think you're stupid today. And this is not mid-1990s, 1990. They think you're stupid today. So they have dumbed and watered everything down. So every year, the school would make her put all these new books, and every year she'd take them away from her students and she'd put them in the corner. And if you look at old standardized tests for kids in like the 5th and 6th and 7th grade, not only standardized by the school, like they're teaching them stuff and expecting things out of them that they now can't even get out of high school. So number one, they keep moving the goalpost, right, to where you have to know less and less, do less and less, have less and less responsibility. So that's one part. And then the second part, I think about these stories where the mainstream media just acts like, oh gosh, we went from sucking to sucking just this much less. That is great. And it does just go back and forth. If it were your kid, would you be happy with the progress? Like if your kid was constantly failing and there was some very minuscule improvement, would you then throw your hands up and say, oh, it's pretty good, and then celebrate it? Probably not. You're like, well, we didn't move backwards. But it's not the headlines that you see coming out of the mainstream media. It's like, oh, we can't have any educational freedom. I don't like the way they did the vouchers and all that stuff. It was very underhanded, dirty, too expensive, had bribes in it, everything else. It was not a good bill, not a good model, certainly moving forward. But they don't like it just because they don't want anybody to have any type of educational freedom whatsoever. I just want my money back. That's BL's opinion. Next story. Knox County Sheriff's Office detains almost 50 illegal aliens in over 3 days for ICE. So it probably only leaves us with about 1 million left now in Tennessee. That's good. It has been a busy week for Knox County Police when it comes to detaining individuals who are in this country illegally. By Tuesday of this week, they had detained 46 individuals, with 24 coming in on Monday alone. Another 13 were detained just yesterday. The detainees will be transferred and released to ICE. The Knox County Sheriff's Office is one of several counties in the state that currently participate in the 287G program. Now listen, if you're a state lawmaker out there and you keep up with this program, either because you actually use us as a news source, which I know some of you do, or because you absolutely hate my guts, which I know some of you do. I don't really care why you keep up with it. I just know that you do. That's a funny story. I'll tell you later. But there are 95 counties in Tennessee. I think as of right now, we've only got 13 or 14 that have enrolled in any of these ICE programs. I would love to see the legislature bring some kind of mandatory bill that your police station, you have to enroll in something. Because it's ridiculous for the Tennessee taxpayer to pay for people sitting in jails, especially the ones that are in detention already. That should be the one that everybody should be mandated to have. If they're in the jail, we can save people a lot of money getting in that program and getting them on the federal dime instead of the state taxpayer dime. And it'll make our community safer, and it will reduce recidivism, and it will keep somebody else from being, raped, molested, murdered, stolen from, all the things that we report multiple times a week, just the ones we find in the Tennessee Conservative News. Like, it amazes me. Like, it's my own publication. But often I get busy with my paying job, and I wake up and, middle of the day, and I look at it just like you do, right? I trust Jason's judgment and our reporters to put things out there that are factually accurate and that you'll find interesting. And so when I look at these, I'm just like, good grief, what a drumbeat. And then you see the fact that we can't seem to get anybody engaged in fixing any of this stuff. It is wild. Guys, we need your money. As always, we're only, I can't remember, I sent out something here recently. I think we're like 8% down now. We started off the year 33%. We have, the excessive expense of the lawsuit. We had the additional cost of sending a reporter to Nashville this year, but revenues have not kept pace with expenditures. So we will not, there's a few things we're going to have to do different next year because I kind of I think I overkicked my coverage in the list's desire to fund such a thing. And so there's a chance, though, we could catch back up, and it can be done at our annual fundraiser. This may be the only one we do. If your organization would like to host one, we would love to do one. I will definitely come out to a club if we can put some money in the bank for the Tennessee Conservative. It's Monday, August 11th. This one's being hosted by the Tennessee Conservative. It's being hosted by the Conservative Club of Tellico. What a great, wonderful, fantastic group. The only one of its kind that I know of, as large as it is and perhaps as engaged as it is. It's going to be at the Tellico Village Yacht Club. It's a Monday. You ain't got nothing going on a Monday. Nobody does. Most of you are retired. Many of you can drive up. It's a beautiful area. You could enjoy the whole day up there. It'll be done early enough for you to drive back home, should you wish to do so. And if you want to get tickets, you can go to TTC. That stands for Tennessee, the Tennessee Conservative. So TTC-event.com, TTC-event.com, or look for the link somewhere around this video or podcast in the notes. I'd really love to see you. As I mention often, I don't get a chance to get out and see folks because I just can't, man. Between my business and 2 girls and staying in reasonable shape and traveling, and I'm just stretched too thin. So getting out and I see like elected officials and other people, like at the Lincoln Day dinner down here in Hamilton County, and they came all the way down here, and I'm like, my schedule just doesn't allow for that. It just really doesn't right now. And so the thing that I hate about that is I don't get to see as many of you as I'd like to. So I'd love to see you in person. Keep your expectations very low, and you will not be disappointed. So go to that, ttc-event.com. I hope to see you there. If you can't come, go there, make a donation. There are several sponsor levels. As I often say, you don't have to be present to attend. If you send in a contribution, it is very, very much appreciated. Tennessee illegal alien charged with shooting at police, sentenced to 18 years in prison. Illegal alien Edwino Clarks has been convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to 18 years in prison with no chance of parole. He was arrested following an incident in the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Officer attempted to issue him a speeding ticket after clocking him 97 miles an hour in Loudoun County. Loudoun County is where we're going for the fundraiser, coincidentally. During the stop, he asked for his driver's license. Clarks instead gave the officer his Guatemalan consular identification card. 2 additional troopers arrived as backup. Clarks then fled the scene in the vehicle after 3 troopers followed him on the interstate where he topped speeds of 100 miles an hour. Well, good. Glad he's going to the pokey. University of Tennessee, one of 7 colleges asked to end partnership with Chinese scholarship program. The University of Tennessee is one of 7 universities across the country. It's being asked to stop working with Chinese scholarship programs. Republican members of the House Select Committee and Chinese Communist Party have urged UT to end its partnership with the nefarious mechanism that is the Chinese Scholarship Council. The program, which is described as a study abroad program, probably re-education camp of sorts, purports to be a joint scholarship program between the U.S. and Chinese institutions. However, in reality, it is a Chinese Communist Party managed technology transfer that exploits U.S. institutions, etc. I think, just generally speaking, it is not good to have too many relations with communists. It's just not. If you have to depend on communists for your trade, if you have to depend on communists for technology, education, your national debt, probably not a good idea. Probably need to get ourselves in a position where we don't need and don't tolerate any of this stuff. Last story. Tennessee supports Trump's plan to ban Chinese ownership of U.S. farmland under the National Farm Security Action Plan. The Trump administration is making plans to ban Chinese ownership of farmland in the United States and part of the administration's 7-part initiative to strengthen farm security across the country from foreign interests that are commies. My word, not the articles. The current administration plans to take swift legislative and executive action to ban the purchase of American-owned farmland by Chinese nationals. So that's good. Bill Lee said, harumph, harumph. Our farmland is not just dirt. That's so profound, Bill. It is our national security. It is our economic future. It is our children's heritage. And it is under threat. All right, guys. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. I'm glad that you joined me. I know that I feel like I might have missed last week. I don't even remember. Well, things are just going crazy. I know I missed Jaffe yesterday. So what's going on with me this weekend? What's been happening? Because I feel like I've not talked to y'all for a little while. First off, this week's been a wild one. I had a whole bunch of stuff going on, none of which I can remember right now. But last night, my good friend Sam and his daughter Mackenzie came down, and a bunch of girls from Alabama for a concert. So we had lunch with them, and then the girls came back here to the house, got ready for the concert, and then went back downtown. And then me and Sam Went downtown for a little while and then hung out on the porch last night. Just generally had a good time catching up. He's one of my best friends and fraternity brothers from back in Jacksonville State, where I picked up my undergraduate right before I moved here to Tennessee as soon as I was out. As I often say, I wasn't born here, but I got here as quick as I could. And I chose Tennessee. I just wasn't a random accident of birth, right? I think that counts for something. So this weekend, what are we doing? I'm going to the gym tonight because I didn't do it yesterday. That's a big deal. I got to go out there and do that. I'm going to my nephew's birthday party up in Knoxville, and also to see his grandpa's train museum. He's built an entire train museum, model train, not real train. You'd have to have a large museum for that. But he has built a model train museum. It's huge. I mean, it's probably the size of I don't know, 2 5-car garages. I mean, it's massive. And so this has been years in progress. He's been a collector for his entire life, and this is kind of like his swan song of train. I don't know what you call it. I know that there's an official word for it. I'm coming up, but I'm excited to go see both the party and the locomotives. I find stuff like that interesting. You know, in any kind of spectacle. You know, world's largest ball of yarn. Brandon will go look at it. Sunday, what are we doing? Sunday, we're gonna go to church because I know we will miss Saturday night because we'll be in Knoxville. So we're probably gonna go to church either the 9 or 11 o'clock, and then we've got a friend of ours down the road, who many of you know but shall remain nameless, is having us over for a little pool party. So we got it just back to back to back to back, and in between, I'm gonna do some choring around the house, and I got work to catch up on tomorrow morning because I did play hooky a little bit yesterday because my friends were in town. I think I'm entitled to do that from time to time. So that's all I got, guys. Please don't leave me high and dry by myself. I know some of you have given. If you've given at some super high level and you're tapped out, email me. Just say, hey, I'd like to come. I've given a bunch. Or just buy a ticket, right? $47 to cover the spaghetti and room rental and all that stuff. You don't have to do anything big, but your presence and your participation financially would be awesome. And that is Monday, August 11th at the Tellico Village Yacht Club. Place looks real nice. It's got a great view. It's a beautiful community if you've never been there. It's very unique. You might end up wanting to move there. Who knows? So it's a great venue. Really, some fantastic people. I think we're going to have a great time. I know I am. I always have a good time when I'm around conservatives like you. So I'm excited to go. So please go to ttc-event.com, ttc-event.com, or look for the link around here. If you can't find the information somehow, some way, email me, Brandon at TennesseeConservativeNews.com. I'll get it to you. Guys, love you, mean it, take care. Until next time, it's old BL signing off. See you then.